Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah, and today I want to share my experience where I jumped from a very vivid dream to an astral projection. So, welcome in, everybody. Settle in. And of course, after you watch the video, drop the comments to let me know what you think. First, I went to sleep like I usually would. Like I was tired. I just wanted to sleep, like regular thing. And I lay down and I didn't even think about even trying to go astral projecting. I was just so tired. Because sometimes when I'm not that tired, I would be like, okay, maybe I'm gonna try to project, and then if I don't manage to do that, I will fall asleep, But this time I was so tired that I was like, I'm just going straight to sleeping, And I did. And the first part, I found myself in a dream. The dream was very, very vivid. And it's weird that I remember so many details from the dream because that's not something that I usually do. So I'm happy about that, okay? Improvement. But the first part of that dream, I just found myself in front of a building. It was a very big building, very modern, luxurious. It was very nice. The whole vibe of the place was just like very organized, very comfortable, very just like lovely and good vibe, And excuse me, when I just wake up, which I did, my throat gets sometimes a little crazy. So if I'm coughing, excuse me. But anyways, that building was huge. It was amazing. And I found myself there to get an apartment. Okay, that was the story that I found myself in. And I was there and my landlord came in. And that apartment was on the first floor. So there's like the 0 floor, I guess, beneath it. And I was on the first floor. And my landlord oddly came in through an elevator. And when we were going, after he gave me the keys and everything, when we were going back down, he was again using the elevator. And I remember asking him, yo, why are we using the elevator? Like, we can use the stairs. It's not that, the difference is not that big. And he just told me, he didn't explain why, but he just told me, don't go down the stairs. Okay, I'm getting chills as I'm saying this. He just told me, don't go down the stairs. Okay, just go in the elevator. Just trust. Just go in the elevator. Don't use the stairs, and that's it. You're gonna be good. Okay. And I was like, okay, noted, I guess. And then the rest of the dream was very vivid, where my friend came in to that apartment to hang out, and she stayed oddly long. And I remember in the dream I was like, when is she leaving? Like, I like her, but come on, it's been a whole day, And when she eventually was leaving, she left her jacket at my place. But she has already left when I noticed the jacket there. And I took her jacket and I was like, damn, she left the jacket here. And I put my hand in the pocket of the jacket and her house keys were there. And I was like, oh, shoot, how is she gonna get into her house now if she doesn't have the key? And I tried calling her, I think, but she didn't pick up. She was already gone. And then I remembered that some of the people that we both know were down the stairs. They were on that 0 floor having some type of event, But that time I took an elevator. I took an elevator and I came down and I talked to one girl, and she told me that my friend was actually not who I thought she was. She was actually an 11-year-old Chinese girl. And she now just went home alone, and I just immediately felt like, oh no, danger. Like, if she goes there alone, I think that, like, I need to contact her. I need to find her. I'm responsible. She was at my place. I need to save her. And then somehow, I don't remember that part, but I just know that I was really, really stressing, like, oh my God, where is she? And eventually, somehow, she came, and I gave her her things, and I apologized that I left her, to go alone, and things like that. And she just, at that point, she just, like, was okay, we talked, and she just disappeared. Everything, all of those people, somehow, I don't remember that part exactly, but they all disappeared. And I think I was back in my apartment, which was on the first floor. And my curiosity told me to go down those stairs, okay? I was like, you know what? Let's go down those stairs. And I mean, I did it because I was very, very curious. Why did he tell me to not go down the stairs? Like, what's the problem with the stairs? And I went down the stairs and I just switched. Okay, I just switched from a dream to an astral projection. But that projection was no ordinary projection. It was projection to what I feel like a layer of hell, okay? And I know that sounds crazy, but when I explain my experience there to you, it will make sense. Because I found myself there, and I wasn't like immediately, oh, okay, this is projection and this is hell. This is like, after you wake up, you realize, when you come back from it and you analyze it, you realize like, oh my God, this actually happened. And I was just like, as soon as I got there, I was like, I need to go home. I need to leave. As soon as I got there, the energy in that place, first of all, it was so crowded. It was so crowded. There was so many people. And every single person that was there that I saw, every single person just like had 1,000-mile stare. They weren't like, I don't know, they didn't have like a, that spark in people's eyes, like full of life or something. No, they were walking like zombies. They were literally walking like zombies. And I was like, this is weird. I need to go home. Immediately. As soon as I got into the place, I was like, oh shoot, we need to go back. And then a wheelchair spawned. Or I spawned it, I guess. And I was just like, okay, this is gonna be my ride. This is gonna be my ride. I'm gonna take this wheelchair to get home faster because, I'm on the wheels. And I was going there, and as I was rolling on the chair, which is so funny, why was I rolling on the chair? I don't know. But as I was rolling on the chair, there was a lot of people that were just like, I was passing by them, and they all, like, their energy felt so strange, and it felt like all of them had malicious intent, in a way, like they were out to get me. But I didn't realize it like that seriously until I was riding and I saw a kid standing in front of like a little house or something. He was like maybe 6 years old. A very, very young kid. Honestly, now looking back to it, that's sad that he's there, but it was a very young kid. He looked like he was from Latin America. And I think he even had a shirt with a Brazilian flag on it, but I'm not sure, like, I can't tell that for certain. But what I can tell for certain is that kid there was standing, and as I was approaching him on my wheelchair, I sensed his intention. I telepathically, I read his mind or something. I just picked up what he wanted to do before he did it, before I even crossed his path, because I was just about to, meet him in the same spot. He was just standing there in the same spot. And I picked up, he was holding a bike, okay? He had a little bike with him. And as I was rolling, I just sensed that he wants to crash his bike into my wheelchair. And I was like, oh no. I felt like a very strong intention coming from there, like he just wants to do it. It was like, oh no, this is dangerous, because I had a feeling that if I fall and now get, like, it's gonna be problematic. I gotta go home, because as I said, as soon as they spawned there, I was like, I gotta go home. This is bad. I shouldn't be here. This is not a place for me. Okay, this is not a place for me. And then I felt his intention, and I knew what he was about to do. Because in astral, guys, everything is telepathic. You already know what's happening, what people think. Like, there's no like verbal communication. At least for me. Whenever I managed to project, there was never verbal communication. It was all telepathic, all instant, and nothing can harm you. Okay, that is like the message from all of this, I think. But I felt his intention, and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta roll faster. He started rolling the chair faster, and as I was approaching him, I just remembered, okay, I gotta put a shield on myself, because my hands are on the wheels. I gotta roll that, and I gotta focus my physical strength, on rolling the chair. But so I can't really defend myself with hands or anything, So I just imagined a protective orb around me, and then I saw myself from the third person. As I was rolling on the chair, suddenly having a big yellow orb around me. That means like I was protected, I successfully put that shield around myself. And I instantly felt easier as I did that. And I was like centimeters from that kid. I just approached him. I was going on my way, but I was passing by next to him. He was so close. He still had that intention to hurt me. And he was so close, but since I was shielded, he couldn't hurt me. And he was so close, but he missed me, and I just rolled back on, okay? And as I was rolling straight ahead, I was like, who in their right mind would do this to a person in a wheelchair? I was thinking to myself, like, damn, okay, now I know I don't usually, roll in a wheelchair, okay? Because at that point, I wasn't aware this is a projection or that was a dream, I wasn't aware of anything like that. I was just like having the experience so vividly, like it was physical reality, And I was like, who in the right mind would do that to a person in a wheelchair? Like, why would you? And then I was like, okay, wait, but maybe he knows that I'm not actually, like, that I can actually walk. And then I was like, who in the right mind would first assume when you see a person in a wheelchair that they're faking it? Who would assume that? Who in the right mind would assume that first? I was like so confused, and it was like the energy from that kid was malicious. Okay, it was sad, but it was malicious. It was like he didn't follow me though. It felt like as if he just had his spot there in that part of astral, and he just had his spot, and since I was approaching his spot, he was, I don't know, trying to defend it or something. I don't know, but it was weird. And then I was going straight ahead, all of those thoughts came in, and I was like, what? Like, who would do that? But let's move on. I gotta go home. I still didn't get home, I still gotta get home. And then, all of a sudden, I see like a doorway. Okay, there was no door, but there was an opening. And I just go straight in, and I find myself in like a back rooms type of environment. It was like dim light. There was a carpet, okay? It was like hallways, but not of a house or something. It was just like as if you're walking on a sidewalk. This was just like a path. that was carpeted for some reason. It had carpets, and those carpets look like carpets from casinos, which is interesting. It had carpets, which was so weird to me, and walls that were so tightly close together. Like the path was so narrow. I barely could fit that wheelchair in. I barely could get myself through. And the craziest part is that space that I was in, it was just corners. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it was full of corners. Like, you go from like 1 meter, and then you have to hit a corner, and then you hit that corner, and then you go another meter, and then again you have to hit a corner. And it was just corner after corner after corner. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta navigate with this chair here, you know? And even though it was very narrow, there were people on the side. And those people, same as that kid, I felt like they had a strong need to hurt me. They just wanted to get me, you know? But since I already had the shield on me, that beautiful yellow light orb around me that was protecting me, they couldn't reach me. Even though we were like technically physically close, and technically I'm in their range for them to touch me, and they were like trying to reach out for me. But as they would get closer to me, they would just start to get slow mode, and they couldn't pass my barrier because the time would slow as they tried to approach me, and it was slow so much that they just can't ever approach me. So I was like, okay, I am safe now. I realize that my shield is working, and it's time to get the hell out of here. Literally. And then my cat banged on the door, and I came back. And I'm glad that she did, and I'm glad that I came back, because now I remember this whole experience, and I can tell it to you all, and I can remind myself. And honestly, it was a crazy experience. I never had an experience where I managed to jump from a dream to astral projection like that. Because those two stories that I just said, they were a very different feel. You know, the first part of the story felt very dreamlike. It was very dreamlike. And he told me, don't go down the stairs. And I feel like since the stairs were going down, you know, I descended. Like, if there were stairs that were going up, maybe I would go into a higher vibration realm, you know. Maybe I would project somewhere nicer. But since it was down, that's maybe why he warned me and said, don't go down, because he knew that you would just jump into hell. You would just project into hell. I don't know. He was trying to guide me, the landlord, God bless him. But I was curious, man. I was curious. I was like, yeah, I know, like, nothing can harm me if I don't consent. You know, that's the deal. Nothing can harm you guys if you don't consent. And that protective shield that I put on myself, I do that in physical existence as well. I mean, you don't see it glowing or something with your physical eyes, but I just imagine that I am protected. I just imagine a shield around me, and honestly, nothing can touch you when you do it. So that's a good reminder, guys. Shield yourself. Always protect yourself, okay? And I'm happy and I'm proud of myself that even though I'm not very like experienced in projections, and this was also very random, I still remembered to do it, and I still, like, my higher self is goated, okay? But this was a crazy experience, guys. I can now officially say I've been to hell and back. And it was crazy. The vibes there were just not my vibe. It was too low frequency. It was such a low frequency. I feel bad for the kid though, because the kid seemed very lost. Okay, like, I don't know why, but I just think that that kid, like, as if he was a part of some cartel or something, and that he maybe died during something like that, and then he just ended up in that part of the astral. But yeah, his intentions weren't good. None of those people's intentions in that part of the it was not good. Okay, it was like crowded, loud, disorienting, disorganized, very, very chaotic, and everybody just seemed like as if they were very self-oriented. Everybody was just like service to self, no care for others, just self, you know. And that's not a good place to be. Okay, that's not a good place to be, and I'm glad I got out of there. But at the same time, I'm glad I visited, and that I showed myself that I can surpass even that, and that I'm protected, divinely protected, no matter what. Okay, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this story. If you had an experience like this or something similar that you want to share, drop it in the comments. This is a little bit lengthier video now. As I said in the last video, I love to yap, so 20 minutes, I mean, what can I do? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story, and of course I'm gonna share more of my experiences as we go. But yeah, tell me what you think, tell me how you feel, and I wish you have a wonderful day. If you came this far, thank you, and consider subscribing, dropping a like or something, and that's it. Share it with people of like minds if you wanna. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day, and I'ma see you in the next one. Bye bye.